The Long Walk is a story about a group of young men who embark on the Long Walk, a Hunger Games style game show in which a bunch of contestants have to walk until only one is remained standing. That's really all you need to know about this movie. Because, quite frankly, this movie caught me very, very off guard. I only saw one singular trailer, and then I just kind of went into it. But I must say, this is a deeply, deeply surprising movie. Directed by Francis Lawrence and produced by him, as well as written by J.T. Mulner, adapted from Stephen King's work, starring Cooper Hoffman and David Johnson, The Long Walk is somehow one of the best films this year that is unfortunately underperforming at the box office. Now, why is it one of the best movies of the year? Well, let me tell you. The Long Walk is well directed, exceptionally acted, really well paced, and brutal in ways that the trailers really don't get into. People die in this movie, and people don't die well. It is gory and fucked up in ways that I, quite frankly, was not prepared for. You have scenes of people, kids really, just getting shot in the head and shot in the face, and you see everything. And on top of that, you have scenes where people are trying to, poop because they can't stop walking, and then, they poop and they have to stop, and then they get shot and they die. And you see a lot of stuff. This movie does not shy away from the brutal realism that is The Long Walk. And the script is very tight. It focuses on a select group of characters, and it does dive into their backstory just a little bit. More spoken, not shown. But the delivery by the actors is so convincing that you don't mind that you don't see it. And it really does follow Cooper Hoffman's character, Ray, as we explore why he chose to embark on the Long Walk. And he is framed as the main character. But I think the real standout performance of this movie is David Johnson, who his most recent performance was in Alien Romulus as the android. And here he is exceptional. Easily the best performance in the entire movie. You feel so much weight to his words, and the moments where he stays silent, where he only lets his eyes communicate, it just shows so much about who he is, not just as a character, but who David is as an actor. If there's any awards recognition for this movie, which there should be, David should be recognized. He is the strongest actor in this movie. And I guess this is where we transition to the only real downsides to the movie. And that is, it does fall into certain Stephen King tropes and the trappings that follow in said tropes. You do have a couple characters that are simply there to be mean, to be the bully, and they come across very, very one note. And that is really, it doesn't seem like that big of a downside until you take a look at the movie as a whole and realize that so many other characters have such exceptional writing attached to them that the bad guys being these one-note characters really does kind of bring it down a little bit. It's not enough to where it detracts from the movie as a whole, but it is enough to where you're like, damn, like, are we really doing this with you? Like, I really wish you were a little more fleshed out. But what this movie also does well, because literally that was the only negative downsides to it all, is it shows you a world that is very similar to ours, but very different than others. It mentions a war, but it never fully goes into it. And some may say that's a bad thing, but there's enough information about this world that you can kind of piece together exactly how we got here. So you're probably wondering why I'm going through this so quickly. Well, the movie itself is just as quick. It's a very fast-paced movie. Despite the slower moments being used to develop the characters, those are immediately interrupted by scenes of grotesquely saddening violence, and very real too. The way that this movie portrays its violence is a very gritty and realistic take. It's visceral. Sort of how Joker, where it was very real and very gritty, the same goes for The Long Walk. Despite the fantastical premise, it is very much grounded in realism when it comes to its violence. And it is shocking as it is heart-wrenching. And I think that is where the movie shines the most. It's that it gets you to care for these characters, their plights and their stories. So by the time they do wind up going, it hurts. And you can't help but feel saddened by the fact that you are never going to see these characters live out their dreams. The fact that these musketeers, through their bonds of friendship, get disbanded just as quickly. It hurts. This is a movie that definitely does hurt, and I mean that in a very, very good way. So, enough of this rimble-ramble of my end. Let's just get to the actual verdict of this movie. The Long Walk is an exceptionally made movie with a couple downsides in the views of a couple one-note characters that is completely outshined by its exceptional writing, exceptional acting, and exceptional direction. There is not a single thing in this movie that I would not recommend to the average viewer. Despite its horrifying depictions of violence, it will leave you with a slight bit of hope in a very bleak world. I give The Long Walk a solid 9 out of 10. It is among the best of Stephen King's adaptations that I've ever seen. Easily up there with some along the lines of It Chapter 1 and The Green Mile. It's definitely no Shawshank Redemption, but by God, this is a remarkable movie that has no right to be as good as it is. It is shocking just how good this movie is. I've been Noah Pfister with the Movie Report. Please feel free to let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next show.